Good evening. Tonight, I think we will open up a Magic the Gathering pre-release kit for the new release. New Capenna. The Riveteers. This one is for the Riveteers. Black, red, and green. These ones are kind of loud to open, so I think I will open this off camera and take the tops of the packs off. It's hard to see, but inside there's some artwork for this faction or guild or whatever you want to call it. It looks like a boxing ring. So there are different pre-release kits for each of those factions. And this one is for the Riveteers. A red die this time. The art on the back of this one is really cool. It's the demon dragon. So, card separator. So instead of some more art, it has a information about the Riveteers. The Riveteers, destruction workers. The Riveteers are tough as nails artisans who can break buildings as easily as kneecaps. They're a rowdy, brute-forced crime faction whose skills in industry and construction also make them pros at demolition and intimidation. As skilled artisans, they've transformed the lower levels of the city into a lair worthy of their draconic leader. And they have this sort of hammer or sledgehammer as their little icon. Alright, let's open the first pack. Draft booster. Actually, why don't we open up the other side? Here we go. I'll save that one. Alright. Alright, the promo card. Spara's headquarters. It is a land, forest, plains, island. Tap to add one forest, plain, or island. Spara's headquarters enters the battlefield tapped. Cycling for 3 colorless. 3 colorless, discard this card and draw a card. To most, the Nido Sanctuary is an office complex. To the brokers, it is a vault of secrets. That's some very cool art for that one. Quite like it. Very good land. Treasure token. I played a little bit of the treasure token mechanic last night, although I messed it up a little bit. I had way too much mana in my deck, but I've reworked it and I'm gonna give it another try. But it seems kinda neat so far. So let's see. Masked bandits, 3 colorless, 1 black, 1 red, and 1 green. Creature, raccoon rogue with vigilance and menace. 2 colorless, Exile masked bandits from your hand. Target land gains tap to add 1 black, 1 red, or 1 green until Masked Bandit is cast from exile. You may cast Masked Bandits for as long as it remains exiled. Riveteers Outlook. It is a land. When Riveteers Outlook enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. When you do, search your library for a basic swamp, mountain, or forest card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle and you gain 1 life. Along the outer girders, in gold filigree, are inscribed the names of all those who fell to their deaths during construction. Another land. Racer's Ring. Another land. Racer's Ring enters the battlefield tapped. Tap to add 1 red or 1 green. 2 colorless, a red and a green. Tap, sacrifice, Racer's Ring, and draw a card. Purchasing chrome racehorses with cash is a common means of dispersing mysterious income. Gilded Pinions. Artifact Equipment. When Gilded Pinions enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. It's an artifact with tap. Sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color. Equipped creature has flying. Equip 2 colorless. For 2, attached to target creature you control. Equip only as a sorcery. Riveteers Initiate. Creature. The Ashino Citizen. 1 colorless, 1 black, or green. Riveteers Initiate gains Death Touch until end of turn. Young Viashino flock to the Riveteers. For Zayatora's leadership, eager to unleash their own inner dragons. 2/2 colors. A 2/2 creature. Red. Girder Goons. 4 colorless and 1 black. Creature Ogre Warrior. When Girder Goons dies, create a tapped 2/2 black rogue creature token. It has Blitz for 3 colorless and 1 black. If you cast this spell for its Blitz cost, it gains haste. And when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. It is a 4/4 creature. Black. Jewel Thief. 2 colorless, 2 green. Creature is a cat rogue. Vigilance, Trample. When the Jewel Thief enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. It's an artifact with a tap. Sacrifice artifact to add 1 mana of any color. They can afford the loss. They build it to their prices. creature. Green. Capenna Express. 3 colorless, 1 green. Artifact vehicle. Sacrifice a treasure. Capenna Express becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. It has a crew 3. Tap any number of creatures you control with a total power of 3 or more. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. 6, 6. I like the art in this release. It's very, I don't know, 1920s, 1930s kind of feel. Prize fight. 1 colorless, 1 green. It is an instant. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Each deals damage equal to its power to the other. Create a token or a treasure token. Underweight, underpaid, and underestimated. I found this card very useful. It kind of forces, your opponent to be able to, or I should say to, or I guess it allows you to pick what creature you want to, block you. You can guarantee a victory. Demons do. 3 colorless, 1 black. Scry 2. This is an instant. Then draw 2 cards. You lose 2 life. Ob Nixilis extends his hand, not in partnership, but to affirm your subservience. Freelance Muscle. 4 colorless, 1 green. Creature Rhino Warrior. Whenever Freelance Muscle attacks or blocks, it gets +X until the end of turn, where X is the greatest power and or toughness among the creatures you control. He never asks why, just who, when, and where. 4/4 creatures, so he's pretty good. Glittering Stockpile. 2 colorless, 1 red. Artifact treasure. Tap to add 1 red. Put a stash counter on the glittering stockpile. Tap to sacrifice glittering stockpile. Add X mana of any 1 color, where X is the number of stash counters on glittering stockpile. The only thing Zayatora desires is more. I like the picture on that one. Riveteers Charm. 1 black, 1 red, and 1 green. Instant. Choose 1. Target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker they control with the highest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. Exile the top 3 cards of your library until your next end step. You may play those cards, and then exile target player's graveyard. That's interesting. Jaxus the Troublemaker. 3 colorless, 1 red. Legendary creature, human warrior. 1 red, and tap to discard a card. Create a token that is a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. It also has a blitz. And it is a 2/3 creature. Alright, let's open the first draft booster. I like this token creature. It's a fish. And he cannot be blocked. So I really like the full art lands. This is a plains. Has some trains at the bottom. Caldaya, strong arm. 4 colorless, 1 green. Creature, human warrior. When Caldaya, strong arm, enters the battlefield, put 2 1/1 counters on target creature. And she also has a blitz for 3 colorless and 1 green. And she's a 2/3 creature. They have a lot of strong ladies in this set. Next is a crooked custodian. 1 colorless, 1 black. Creature, ogre rogue. Crooked custodian enters the battlefield tapped. Nothing to see here. Just carrying a carpet. Yes, the carpet wears boots. Stop asking questions. 3/2. I like the picture. He's carrying like a body in the bag. I used this one last night. I had used red, green, and black, I believe. Next, case the joint. 3 colorless, 1 blue, and instant. Draw 2 cards, then look at the top card of each player's library. Steel doors and iron bars are child's play for an Obscura operative. Speakeasy server, a bird citizen. He is flying. When Speakeasy server enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each other creature you control. Whatever ails you, friends, this will cure you for tonight and leave you with a little inspiration for tomorrow. 3/3 creature. White. I like the art on that one too. Plasma Jockey. 3 colorless, 1 red, Vaishina Warrior. Whenever Plasma Jockey attacks, target creatures and opponent controls cannot block this turn. And it has a blitz. So it's a 3-1. Attendant Solicilite, 1 green, 1 colorless, an elf druid. Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Attend Solicilite gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Say hello to my little friend. 2-1. Glamorous Outlaw, 3 colorless, 1 blue, 1 black, and 1 red. Vampire Rogue. When a Glamorous Outlaw enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to each opponent you scry to. And then for 2 colorless, exile Glamorous Outlaw from your hand. Target lands gain tap to add 1 blue, 1 black, or red. Until Glamorous Outlaw is cast from exile, you may cast Glamorous Exile for as long as it remains exiled. 4/5. Broker's Hideout, a land. When Broker's Hideout enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. When you do, search your library for a basic forest, plains, or island card. Put it into the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle and gain 1 life. Only the witness was invited. Once the witness was inside, the safe house vanished from sight, then from memory. Cutthroat Contender, 1 black. Vampire Warrior, pay 1 life. Cutthroat Contender gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. The fights may sometimes be rigged, but the front row spectators know the wounds are real. Black. Shattered Seraph, 4 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue, and 1 black. An angel rogue with flying. When Shattered Seraph enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. For 2 colorless, exile Shattered Seraph from your hand. Target land gains tap to add plains, island, or swamp until Shattered Seraph is cast from exile. You may cast Shattered Seraph for as long as it remains exiled. 4/4 creature. I really like the art on this one. The Elegant Entourage, 3 colorless, 1 forest. Elf Druid. Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, target creature other than Elegant Entourage gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. terribly sorry, but this is a private party, and your name isn't on the list. 4/4 creature. A lot of green in this one. Ruffian's Silencer. 2 colorless, 1 black. Creature human assassin. When Ruffian's Silencer enters the battlefield, it connives, which means it draws a card, then discards a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. When Ruffian's Silencer dies, target creature an opponent controls gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is Ruffian's Silencer's power. And then another glittering stockpile. Soul of Emancipation. 4 colorless, 1 green, 1 white, and 1 blue. Creature avatar. When Soul of Emancipation enters the battlefield, destroy up to 3 other target non-land permanents. For each of those permanents, its controller creates a 3/3 white angel creature token with flying. This is a 5/7 creature. I like that card. Alright, let's grab another. Another fish. And a swamp. Oh, I very much like this land. The art on that is beautiful. I'm very partial to black. Alright. Light 'em up. 1 colorless, 1 red, sorcery, casualty 2. As you cast this spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater. When you do, copy this spell, and you may choose a new target for the copy. Light 'em up deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Another Caldea Stormhorn. Strong arm. Revel Ruiner. 3 colorless, 1 black. Cephalid Rogue with Menace, meaning the creature cannot be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. When Revel Ruiner enters the battlefield, it connives. So you draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. She is a 3/1. Very beautiful art on that one. Black. Backstreet Bruiser. 1 colorless, 1 blue. Cephalid Rogue, Defender. As long as there are 2 or more counters among creatures you control, Backstreet Bruiser can attack as though it didn't have Defender. I could show you what's in the case. But it'd be the last thing you ever see. 3-3 guy. He's looking very shady. Revelation of power. 1 colorless, 1 white. Instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it has a counter on it, it also gains flying and lifelink until end of turn. As Ob and Ixalis closed in, Halo swept through Giada like an electrical current, and inside her, something long dormant unfurled its wings. It's kind of a neat art on there. Like her shadow is something different. Another plasma jockey. Cabaret Initiate. Creature, raccoon citizen. Only 1 green. So this is a 2, and then you spend a red or a white. Cabaret Initiate gains double strike until end of turn. Now there's a fella who knows how to have a good time. Jedmir. I really like all of the raccoon creatures in this one. They're very fun. Sky Crier. 1 colorless, 1 white. Creature bird citizen for flying and lifelink. 3 colorless, 1 white. You and target opponent each draw a card. Breaking news, Lorzander found dead. Suspect at large. Celestial Regulator. 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue. Angel Advisor. Flying. When Celestial Regulator enters the battlefield, choose target creature you don't control and tap it. If you control a creature with a counter on it, the chosen creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. 2-3. Pretty cool art too. Botanical Plaza. A land. Botanical Plaza enters the battlefield tapped. Tap to add a green or a white, and then 2, 1 green, a blue. You can tap to sacrifice Botanical Plaza and draw a card. Public parks are a favored meeting spot for those considering a shift in alliance. Refusal to yield. An instant. 1 colorless, 1 white. Target creature gets +2/+7 until end of turn and untap it. Her opponent threw her through the window, so she retaliated by throwing the window through her opponent. It's kind of neat. Scuttling Butler, an artifact creature construct for 3 colorless. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more multicolored permanents, Scuttling Butler gains double strike until end of turn. Porter, Cleaner, and Bouncer all in one. It's kind of like a bug butler. Psychic Pickpocket. 4 colorless, 1 blue. Creature, Cephalid Rogue. When Psychic Pickpocket enters the battlefield, it connives. When it connives this way, return up to one target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So 3/2. And then cut of the prophets, X, and then 2 black. A sorcery, casualty 3. As you cast this spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 3 or greater. When you do, copy this spell. You draw X card and you lose X life. Everybody is worth their weight in gold. This guy does not look like he's having a good time. Alright, let's grab one more. Token creature citizen. Here's another full art plains. That's really cool. Alright. So we have another Jaxus the Troublemaker. Legendary creature, human warrior. Red, tap to discard a card. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste. When this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. And then it has Blitz. Dusk Mangler. 5 colorless, 2 black. A creature horror. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Discard a card or pay 4 life. When Dusk Mangler enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Discard a card and loses 4 life. 5/4. That's a pretty nasty card. Sleep with the fishies. 2 colorless, 2 blue. Enchantment. Enchant creature. When Sleep with the Fishies enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature and you create a 1/1 blue fish token with this creature can be blocked. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during the controller's untap step. Quasar, Augur of Agonies. 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue, and 1 black. Legendary creature, Cephalid Advisor. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. I really like the art on that one. 3/4 creature. Paragon of Modernity. Artifact creature, Angel Warrior, flying. For 3 colorless, Paragon of Modernity gets a +1/+1 until end of turn. If exactly 3 colors of mana were spent to activate this ability, put a +1/+1 counter on it instead. No true angels have been created since the founding of New Capenna, but artisans have learned to craft elegant facsimiles. Security bypass. One colorless, one blue. Enchantment aura. Enchant creature. As long as enchanted creature is attacking alone, it can't be blocked. Enchanted creature has, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, it connives. She's got like a portal situation going on there. Rooftop nuisance. Sorcery. It has casualty 1. As you cast a spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 1 or greater. When you do, copy this spell. You may choose a new target for the copy. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during the controller's next untap step. Draw a card. Another botanical plaza. And another light 'em up. Dapper Shieldmate. 3 colorless, 1 white. Human soldier. Dapper Shieldmate enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. If it would be dealt damage or destroyed, remove a shield counter instead. As long as it's your turn, Dapper Shieldmate gets +2/+0. Descended from old Capenna's paladins, the brokers are masters of defensive combat. Disdainful Stroke. 1 colorless, 1 blue. An instant. Counter target spell with mana value 4 or greater. I've known for a year that you would cast this exact spell, at this exact spot, at this exact time. Raffine. I like the art on that. And very handy if you're playing blue. Another Revel Ruiner. And another Capenna Express. Big Score. 3 colorless, 1 red. An instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. Unimaginable riches. I assure you, I have a vivid imagination. It's like a cat burglar rolling around in gold. Another big score right off the bat there. Treasure. And an island. Looks like a sewer. Alright. Ready to Rumble. 4 colorless, 1 red. Sorcery. Choose 1. Ready to Rumble deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target artifact. It's too quiet. Go make trouble. Saitoura. that one's kind of a dark card. Undercover operative. 2 colorless, 2 blue, creature, shapeshifter rogue. You may have undercover operative enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it enters with a shield counter on it. You control that creature. If you control that creature. If it would be dealt damage or destroyed, remove the shield counter instead. Is that a neat? Riveteers, Requisitioner. 1 colorless, 1 red, Lyshina Rogue. When Riveteers Requisitioner dies, create a treasure token. It also has splits, and it's a 3/1. An offer you can't refuse. Instant. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. They're artifacts with tap to sacrifice this artifact and add 1 mana of any color. Elspeth wanted answers. Xander needed a spy. Their paths were destined to cross. Maestro's Charm. 1 blue, black, and red. An instant. Choose 1. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Or each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. Or Maestro's Charm deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Another one of these. Another one of these. Security bypass. And another one of these. Rooftop nuisance. Sticky fingers. 1 red. Enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. And when enchanted creature dies, draw a card. It's like a demon pickpocketing. Ruffian's Guidance. 1 white, an enchantment. Enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +1/+1. You may cast Ruffian's Guidance from your graveyard by paying 2 colorless, 1 white, rather than paying its mana cost. Another disdainful stroke. Fake your own death. 1 colorless, 1 black. Instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, and you create a treasure token. I like the art for this one. another attended salicylate. We have one more pack to go. Treasure. Another plains. Unlicensed hearse. 2 colorless artifact vehicle. Tap to exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Unlicensed hearse's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards exiled with it. And then accrue 2. Some really neat art. Rocco Cabaretti Caterer X, 1 red, green, and white. Legendary creature, elf druid. When Rocco Cabaretti Caterer enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. They wouldn't admit it, but some people join the Cabaretti just for the food. And the 3/1. Courier's Briefcase. 1 colorless, 1 green. When Courier's Briefcase enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Tap to sacrifice Courier's Briefcase. Add 1 mana of any color. And then you could pay 1 white, blue, black, red, and green, and tap to sacrifice Courier's Briefcase and draw 3 cards. That is a very hefty price tag. Oops. Citizen's Crowbar. 1 white, 1 colorless, and artifact equipment. When Citizen's Crowbar enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white and green citizen creature token, then attach Citizen's Crowbar to it. Equipped creature gets +1 and has white, and tap to sacrifice Citizen's Crowbar. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. It also has equip 2. Another Capenna's Express. Another Crooked Custodian. Another Case the Joint. Another Speakeasy Server. Another Big Score. Another Attended Salicylate. Well, I think we had this one before too. Yep. Another Glamorous Outlaw. Another Broker's Hideout. Another Cutthroat Contender. Shattered Seraph. I think we had this one too. Yep. There were a lot of duplicates in this last pack. So this is my pre-release kit, or has a lot of interesting cards. Seems like they were really trying to push the multicolor. I played for the first time a tri-colored deck last night. I ended up getting, I think, a little nervous about the mana, and I put too many mana in my deck, which caused me some troubles. But it's still pretty interesting, and I like to rework the one that I've got. I've kind of reworked out a little bit already, and I'm kind of interested to try that again and then see if I can fit some of these other cards into decks I already have and maybe make some more. Thank you